Morning, everybody. Welcome back. Saturday in the shop, as usual. Went ahead and threw our Shadow 750 Lowrider bike up on the lift out in the shop. It's a bike we worked on. God, it's probably been over a year since we worked on it, I would guess. It is like 99% finished. We ended up taking it down off of the lift up front to take it to a show. And it lived in the trailer for, I guess, a year. Anyway, we finally got it out of the trailer a couple of weeks ago, and we had a lift opened. So we threw it up on the lift for today. Hopefully we're going to maybe try and get this thing done. I don't know if we'll be able to get every last little thing done, as I can't remember really what all it needs. I know we need to finish mounting the front brakes. We need to bleed the front and rear brakes. We need to mount a reservoir cup for the back brake. We need to change the grips. They suck, the grips I had originally got. So those that got to go. Got to drill a couple set screws on some handlebar spacers. Just lots of little stuff like that. Spacers for the front brake caliper. I don't know if I said that. Finish up the fuel line. Make sure the carbs are opening and closing correctly. I mean, like really, really minimal basic stuff. So we're going to try and get that done today and get that bike running. And maybe I'll use that for my winter ride, like I ride ever. But I keep telling myself I'm going to ride more this winter. So whether or not I will or I won't remains to be seen. I need to clean my garage out at my house so I can fit some more bikes in there. And that's it. I don't know. We're going to see what we can get done on that today. It's a really cool bike. I think it should be real comfortable to ride. There is a ton of videos. If you're new to the channel, I'll put a link in the description to the playlist for it. I think there's, I don't know, maybe 14 or 15 other episodes. We worked on it for a good long while early on the channel. Might have been one of the first kind of full builds we did on the channel, maybe second. I don't know. Anyway, it's a cool bike. I like it, and I'm going to try and finally get it finished up here today, and if not today, probably next weekend. So we'll get a big jump on it today, if nothing else. So that's it. Gonna get out in the shop and get rolling. All right, guys. So we're out in the shop. We got the bike up on the lift. If you haven't seen this before, like I said, it's pretty much there. Just lots of little detail work we need to do. So first things first, we got to make some spacers for our brake caliper. This is a 23-inch Harley pattern wheel. So we made custom spacers and axle and all that good stuff. Check out the previous videos if you're interested in that. And last thing we needed to do was align the caliper. So head over to the lathe. Got a piece of 7/8 aluminum round bar. Wasn't exactly the outside diameter I wanted, so we're going to take a quick facing pass on this and turn it down a little bit. Once we get that done, we will drill these out and part off 2 spacers to space the 2 brake caliper mounting bolts. Alright, so we're getting our last spacer parted off here. It's a nice easy way to make spacers using your parting tool. You don't have to reface them in the lathe, you just lop them off and you got little nice pieces. All you got to do is quick couple spins with the deburring tool, knock off any burrs in the inside hole. You usually get a decent sized burr left from the parting tool, but
Other than that, nothing much else to do with these. They're machine finish and ready to bolt on. So we're gonna go ahead and slide these in, check our fitment, make sure our measurements were what we needed. Everything looks cool there. All right, so next project is number one. We're gonna get rid of these grips. I thought they would look good on the bike, but I've since decided that number one, the knurling on them is really not aggressive enough for a good grip, and I really don't like all metal grips. So, also we are popping our little handlebar spacers. These go between the master cylinders and the grips, just to fill in the bar, make it look a little cleaner. Um, so, just a quick drill. We'll tap these out to 832. Put a set screw in them. Just keeps them from rattling around on the bars. Kind of annoying when you're riding and you got a spacer rattling around there. So, got the hole drilled. Gonna run the tap in here, and then we'll put some little set screws in there. We'll dab a red Loctite, and they'll be in place and won't be rattling around on us when we're riding. So we got our spacer back on, locked in, and we're replacing with our new grips. They're chrome ends with rubber inserts. They look just as good and end up a lot more functional. All right, everybody, here's all the info you need on how to enter our bike giveaway. We're trying to get this done before November 26, 2024. Check out our giveaway bike reboot video for all the specifics. If you're not sure what we're talking about, share on Facebook or Instagram. Tag Gattis Garage in your post. And then make sure you send an email to gattisgaragegiveaway@gmail.com with your name and your Instagram name if it's different. Also, forgot to put up here, but very important, you need to be a public. You can't be a private account or we won't be able to see that you tag us. So make sure you're public or we will miss your information. Anyway, I hope this time is going to go smoother than the last, and we really look forward to giving this bike away. And hope you guys enjoy the content as always. Next up is fixing up our light bar here. Again, we made this all from scratch. It's using a couple amber fog lights, old Kmart stock. I have a kind of big collection of those. And anyway, it's all turned from aluminum and TIG welded, polished. See that in some of our earlier episodes for this bike. And the way these mounted, I just had to add a little washer to the end because the bolt was kind of sucking into the mounting tab. Again, some red Loctite just to hold everything. A lot of vibration on these bikes, especially when you got it mounted out on the front end like this. So, one other thing we had to do here is get our carburetors off. For some reason, the throttle was not snapping back. Couldn't really figure out why. So Matt's removing our air cleaner assembly and breather box and all that stuff, and we'll get these carbs figured out. Once I got them off, I did end up realizing that the throttle return spring wasn't connected like it should be. So that was part of the reason. Also, just some tight bushing. So cleaned everything up and lubed everything, a little penetrant and all that, and got them back. Got them back how we wanted. All right, so got the carbs out. Made a quick run to the hardware store to get some bolts for the brake caliper and front axle pinch bolts. And I just have to say, this little pile of bolts that you just saw in my hand cost $26. So, needless to say, hardware prices are completely out of hand. So, anyway, we needed them, so we got it going there. Got our brake caliper bolted on. Got our pinch bolts in for our front axle, 2 on each side, so we don't have to worry about our front axle falling out. And that's one more project on this thing down, and we're going to move on to the next thing.
You want to get like some 600 or 8, like, and wet it. Yeah. Back into the board. Okay. And then, yeah, and then you can probably just polish them off yourself. Yeah, sure. That will. Oh, absolutely. That will work. I mean, the thing is, too, like the rotor block and that car, they're not going to Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, look at the motor.
Just repeating the process over here on the right-hand side, throttle side, getting our spacer put in, that screwed on, and then we're going to install our grip. That's one of our internal throttles we use on almost all our bikes over here. So nice clean handlebars. Get this grip set screwed on, snug down, and be ready to fire this thing for the first time. And here we have our little test model on, got the bike fired up. Not bad for a motor that's been sitting for a couple of years. Just checking out the carbs. Like I said, not sure about our jetting yet because of our air cleaner system. It's not exactly open, it's not exactly stock, so but just checking our pipes, make sure everything's warm, and cool to have this thing running after all this time.
I told you we had to check everything. Zach, don't get juiced, all right?
Why not? Well, I want to.
Liar. Straight out lie.
I want to. Please?
All right, now that we got our test run out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and start getting everything buttoned back up. Got to get
These
our
might be
air
worse
cleaner
than
assembly
the,
on. So, again, something I made, a lot of details on it in a previous video. Uses a good part of the stock airbox and then this aluminum backing plate that we made. Uses an air filter for think a late 90s Screaming Eagle V-twin. My memory serves me, but it has been quite a while since I did it. So anyway, you get the backing plate bolted on, got your airbox assembly up there. Here's your filter, air filter element, and this nice handmade aluminum air cleaner cover that I made up. We'll go ahead and fill this thing up with some coolant. Got that topped off, got a radiator cap on, and now we can slide the tank back on. Again, this is just a stock tank, unmodified. Nice custom paint job, all done in-house. It does use the stock dash, which we did modify. Our GPS speedometer in there, and all of our air ride control switches, along with our radio switch and light bar fog light switches off into the dash. Next up, we got to get this front brake system bled. So, stock front brake caliper, braided brake line, and a little aftermarket chrome Honda style brake master cylinder. Need some .5 brake fluid. Try and use .5 whenever I can, so that we don't have issues with paint peeling and stuff like that. So, anyway, pretty simple deal here. Just got Matt helping me out, pump and squeeze and hold and open, and get all the air out until you got some brake.
Bubbles.
We're done.
Always on the frame? I don't know if you do that. These are completely less than
Hopefully we don't have anybody ride.
All right, we moved over to the back brakes. These were a little bit trickier. This was an old brake caliper I already had on hand. It's actually supposed to mount on the top of the rotor. The way I set this thing up, it mounts on the bottom, so we actually had to remove it from the bike. We got it slid onto a spare rotor we had laying around. We're just going to bleed it like this with the bleed nipple facing up. That'll get all of our air out, give us some functioning brakes, and then we'll flip it back around, bolt it on the bike. Not a terrible deal to do it, just a couple little extra steps because I wanted to mount it on the bottom of the rotor. Number one, for fender clearance, being that we got the air ride, and number two, I just like the way it looked better, being that this was a disc brake conversion from a drum brake setup. All right, and that is it. Minus one fuel line fitting that I had to order, and a piece of fuel line to connect the tank to the carburetors. We're ready to pull this thing down and get some miles on it. It's been a long time coming. If you've been hanging around with us and waiting for this bike to be finished, we finally seem to have done it.
All right, guys, that's a wrap for today. Really happy we got the bike 99.9% done. We are waiting on one little fitting so I can adapt down from the large petcock outlet size to the small fuel inlet on the splitter for the carburetors. And I need to order a little handle for the petcock. Other than that, the bike is done. It's running. I don't know whether or not we'll have the jetting dialed in exactly or not, because it's an exhaust like I've never used before, and the air cleaner is all handmade. It's like partially stock air cleaner, and then I made all the rest. So that remains to be seen once we get it on the road. But we have brakes, we have a clutch, we have lights, we have everything we need. So we'll get those couple of parts in here, and then we'll put a few miles on this thing and see how it rides. I'm really really happy with how it came out, and I have a feeling it's going to ride really nice with the air ride and the whole overall setup. So anyway, always appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to check out our giveaway bike stuff. Again, I'll put the link to the playlist for this whole entire bike build in the description if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen it before and you want to check out the whole process we went through building this bike. All that stuff is up and available. And don't forget to please like, share, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. I always try to answer all the comments. And what are you snickering about over there? Tom's over there.
So I just high five.
He's snickering like a little child.
Oh, I got all kinds of carnage going on.
Oh God, what happened now?
God.
You want to show him your man titties again?
Me or him?
You have man titties?
No.
No, she does not.
You were looking at me. But
Because you're recording, I'm not going to say anything. Do something that they can't see. Right there.
He's got me the middle finger because he's upset last week he exposed his man titties on video.
I didn't expose them, you did.
Who lifted up your shirt?
Yeah, I didn't know you were recording all day.
Always.
Bastard.
All right, guys, we're out of here. We hope to see you next time at Gattis Garage.